Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse of a little bit happier Husker Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is about the quarterback position, also a couple of injury updates at the running back position and how that affects the offense and the quarterback position itself. And actually, I had different things I was going to say before I found out about the unfortunate injuries at the running back position when it came to the quarterback position, but I'll get to that shortly. Real quick, if you're kind of like me, okay, and you believe that we need to know our quarterback plan as a team going forward after Saturday's game, after we play La Tech, going forward for the rest of the season as we get ready for Michigan and we get ready for Big Ten play, the rest of our Big Ten games and the final 8 games of the season, hit that like button. All right, real quick. Unfortunately, Matt Rhule announced at his press conference today that Rahmir Johnson will miss the remainder of the season due to a shoulder surgery. Gabe Ervin will miss the remainder of the season due to a hip surgery, and Dwight Boodle is out due to season-ending surgery as well. Obviously, okay, nothing but love, prayers, and speedy recovery wishes for all of those players. You know what? Hit a like button to support them as well if you wish to do so. Now, the next running back's up, okay? Again, Anthony Grant's going to be the guy. Wish those guys a speedy recovery. In Matt Rhule's words, it's his show, but I'll get to that in a second. Okay, the next guy's up, Emmett Johnson, 5'11", 190-pound freshman. Now, he was kind of another third down type back along with Rahmir Johnson, so to speak. Matt Rhule said he's smart, competitive, quick twitch, great COD, change of direction. He's one of those guys that's so competitive. If you said, hey, go play safety, he'll go do it. Okay, so he's another guy that's got a lot of physical ability. Okay, and be getting some reps as well. And the next guy up at running back position is Quentin Imes. Now, this is a big, powerful I-back, downhill type runner. Now, he may have a little bit more of a limited playbook. Okay, he hasn't been getting those same types of reps and things of that nature. So a big, powerful back, going to have to catch up on the offense in that playbook quickly. Now, when it comes to Anthony Grant, he basically said he just wants him to protect the ball. Great natural ability. Like, everyone can see that. It's not lost on the coaches as well. And he basically said it's his show now. So I'm excited to see what Anthony Grant can do going forward. All right. Now, Rhule, when asked about the quarterbacks and quarterback position and his experience with things like this, okay, in the past when it comes to deciding between two quarterbacks or quarterback battles, so to speak, he said not a lot of experience with the quarterback debate at the college level. Now, at Temple and at Baylor, he had young guys who around the 4th or 5th game of the year of their careers would end up getting put in, and then they just kind of stayed at the quarterback position. Okay, now he did experience this at Carolina with the Panthers. He also doesn't want the quarterbacks to feel like there's a quick trigger, okay, or a short leash if some mistakes are made. Obviously, you've got to execute to a certain degree as well. One other random thing I thought was pretty cool, and Coach Rhule said he got this from Tom Osborne. Nebraska had for the first time this year, over 100 knockdown blocks in their last game. And Ron Brown is the guy that keeps track of these every game. Now, real quick, looking ahead, that's the last game, looking ahead to La Tech. I'll do more on that later this week, most likely. They're explosive. They can make big plays on offense. In fact, they were down 17-0 in their last game and came back and tied it up in a highly entertaining, highly scoring type game. One thing, and I'm going to get to the quarterbacks. Don't worry, that's the main crux of this show. But there were other things that stuck out to me that Coach Rhule said, and I'm going to offer my thoughts on the quarterback position. Defensively, playing great ball. Let's be real. Okay, but they can get better. A couple areas, force more turnovers defensively and get more pressure with straight 4-man rushes. Those are the two biggest things he wants to see them improve on against that explosive Louisiana Tech offense. Okay, last thought, then we'll get to the quarterbacks. When asked about his experience, his first home game here at the University of Nebraska as the Huskers head coach, his experience at Memorial Stadium, he said, and I quote, amazing experience, end quote, and it was unlike any other environment he's ever seen. All right, talking about Heinrich Haarberg, okay, he said Heinrich's respected by his teammates, okay, pretty much on scout team all of last year, not even sure he was in meetings. Okay, pretty much just ran scout team, not even sure he was in meetings, watching game film, learning the offense, so to speak. Okay, didn't travel with the team last year. Okay, not really a part of the team's plans. Okay, but his teammates respect him, okay, for going through adversity last year and not complaining. Now, there was a couple of fans who kind of equated, they're like, hey, does Heinrich kind of remind you of Brooke Behringer? And I'm like, man, that's a lofty comparison. In ways. We'll see how this unfolds over time, but in ways, especially when I heard Coach Rhule say those words. Now, other coaches throughout the offseason thought that Heinrich would be a good tight end, wide receiver, fullback, Okay, and at times this offseason, spring and summer, Heinrich was third or fourth on the depth chart. But Rhule wanted to see what he could do at the quarterback position. He said, he pulled him aside one day, mentioned the other positions. Heinrich wasn't too enthused, but he's a team player. But Rhule said, I want to see what you can do at the quarterback position. And if I ever believe that a move for you elsewhere, I'm paraphrasing, would be better, I'll let you know. So it was kind of Rhule's idea to keep him at the quarterback position and see what he could do. Now, if you've watched my show, I've been very clear on this for years. I've been very clear. I've always said for years, he has a big frame, big arm, and deceptive speed. He has a high potential ceiling at the quarterback position. That's always been my opinion. Okay? Right or wrong, that was always my opinion. All right, now real quick, and I want to thank the fans. This show does not happen without the fans, without the people at home. Okay, when I decided to go on my own, I literally asked on social media, should I go on my own? What should I do with the Carriker Chronicles? The response was overwhelming last winter. Go on your own. Adam, we've got you. And you have responded. So I want to thank the fans and the people at home, because this show does not happen without the people, without sponsors, and without people backing this show. So I want to thank you, the fans, the people at home. Also, if bills aren't getting paid, this doesn't make sense. So do me a favor. Okay, DPS Concrete Construction. Like, this is real. There's no script that I'm given, ladies and gentlemen. DPS Concrete Construction. All right, if you're a general contractor, building owner, property manager, okay, you're looking for concrete repair or work to get done in the Omaha metro area, like street paving, all right, building floors, parking lots, the like, check out dpsconstruction.net. Okay. They do a great job. They're looking for great quality workers. That was what was stressed to me more than even bringing in more business. Jason Armstrong, the owner, is like, I want quality workers who do great work, and then that's how I get quality business. All right, check them out at dpsconstruction.net. Now, let's get back to that quarterback conversation, okay? Debate, whatever you want to call it. All right, controversy. Everyone's gonna avoid that because it's controversy. But we've got a quarterback debate here in Nebraska. All right. Even if nobody else says it, that's my opinion. Now, when asked after the game Saturday, backtracking just a smidge, okay, last week when Heinrich Haarberg practiced well, Rhule, this is on Saturday after the game, he said the previous week when Heinrich Haarberg practiced well on Tuesday and Wednesday, he knew he was going to start versus Northern Illinois. When asked after Saturday's game again if Haarberg's play has made it a quarterback competition, again, people are going to avoid these things, and that's fine. This is just my opinion. I believe it's a competition. I don't know that we got a controversy, but a competition, a debate, whatever you want to call it. Rhule said he won't talk hypotheticals, okay? Says Nebraska found out on Saturday it can win with two quarterbacks. So here are kind of my final thoughts on this deal. They have a week, in my opinion, to figure out what they're going to do at the quarterback position going forward. Now, when I first started to prepare for the show, prior to the running back injuries, I was like, we got to figure out who the starter is going forward, getting ready for the number 2 team in the country in Michigan, defending Big Ten champs, and then the final 8 games. And we should be 2-2. No disrespect to La Tech, can't overlook anybody. Okay, but in theory, we're 2-2 going into our final 8 games, and Nebraska better get to a bowl game this year. Like, that's been the bar, no matter what. Kool-Aid, non-Kool-Aid, you've been drinking all off season. So we need to know after this game versus La Tech, hopefully we're 2-2, going in to Michigan, our final 8 games, Big Ten play, going at least 500 down the road. I think there's opportunity for more. I talked with former Husker great Jay Foreman today, and he sees even more potential opportunity for wins, but we'll see. We got to know what we're doing at the quarterback position. And to me, that meant who's the starter. Now, I will say this. When you're down running backs, okay, if you got a running quarterback, he can almost kind of pseudo step in as a running back to a degree. And if you got 2 running quarterbacks, let me just talk about this. You could potentially rotate them. And I know the old saying, you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. I'm not advocating for this. I'm saying there's 3 options. Heinrich Haarberg as a starter, Jeff Sims as a starter, or some sort of a rotation, which I'll dive into. But up to this point, okay, the most carries a running back has had in a game so far, one time, was Gabe Ervin versus Colorado. No running backs had even 20 carries this year. Meanwhile, Jeff Sims had almost 20, 19 versus Minnesota. Haarberg, 21. Versus Northern Illinois. So quarterbacks have kind of been used as running backs to this point. All right. So let me get back to this. Now, Rhule's going to say otherwise, and he should say this, okay, that it doesn't have to be decided, that it's going to be, it can change from week to week. And obviously things are fluid, and that's what he should say. And I understand things can be fluid, okay? But And obviously, can't take La Tech for granted. They're not a powerhouse. Jeff Sims did warm up before Saturday's game. Okay, obviously didn't play. Health does play a factor into this. This is assuming Haarberg and Jeff Sims are both healthy. Okay, you don't exactly have to know who your quarterback is and your quarterback plan going into the game Saturday, but you need a really good idea coming out of it, in my opinion. Okay, is Haarberg the starting quarterback? Is Sims the starting quarterback? Okay, is some sort of a rotation? And again, when I talk about this, personally, I would start Haarberg. And it depends on what happens this week in practice. Rhule made that very clear. Personally, I would start Haarberg, and I would see how the game goes. But I wouldn't be opposed to Jeff Sims having a small package of plays, okay? And if he starts Jeff Sims, he starts Jeff Sims. It's not my call. Just my opinion. Haarberg starting, based on how this week in practice looks, both quarterbacks healthy. But what if you gave Jeff Sims just a small package of plays? When you simplify things, a lot of times you allow a player to not think as much. They don't have to think as much. They can play faster, less mistakes. And where we're down to one main running back and other guys who are stepping up, maybe it's not a bad idea to take the load off of Anthony Grant just a bit. Someone who's fumbled, done better the past couple weeks, but the less of a load, I'd like to see him get 20 carries or more going forward. Take care of the ball better, simplify things for Sims. Maybe Haarberg starts, maybe he doesn't. But those are just my thoughts. In summation, practice matters most. Personally, I'd start Haarberg. Small package for Sims to see what he can do. Okay, he did earn a single digit in the off season. Simplifying might help him, but at least know your plan after the game this Saturday. Whoever your starter is and whatever your plan is going forward into those final 8 Big Ten games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that all made sense. Now, I got 3 questions for you. All right, number 1, quarterback, battle, debate, controversy, whatever you want to call it. Who would you start this Saturday for Nebraska? Heinrich, Haarberg, or Jeff Sims, or how would you handle the quarterback situation? Number 2, and I saw the unfortunate news, former Husker quarterback and current FAU quarterback Casey Thompson tore his ACL. Ladies and gentlemen, once a Husker, always a Husker. In the comments below, if you'd like to wish well going forward in a speedy recovery. Also, it was interesting. Rhule was asked about turf versus grass. And he talked about, this is all based on Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. He talked about how he thinks grass is 10 to 18% safer. It depends on how many teams are using it, but that's why his practice fields are grass fields. And Manchester United a few years ago, when they used one of his team's fields, would only use the grass field. Let me know your thoughts on that. And all your football hopes and dreams will come true at CarrikerChronicles.com. So go check it out at CarrikerChronicles.com. And always remember to throw the bug.